That was Eric commenting on the fact that I said we were going to make this a 45-minute show and he doesn't believe me. I'm Anthony. This is Eric. This is LA Rams Central. And you might be thinking, Anthony, is that Redskin gear? Yeah, I'm wearing a John Riggins jersey. I lost a bet. You may have remembered when the Rams played the Redskins that we didn't win. And my wife is a Redskins fan. And I told her that I would wear Redskin gear for one of my shows. And I figure, hey, the Rams aren't playing this week. So I'll wear the Redskins gear for this show. And I'll wear the Redskins gear for the next one. And then next week when we start anew, I won't.
Wish I was there next year. I'd be sporting my Clinton Portis jersey.
Nice. Clitius Portis, huh? Okay. Here's the deal. So we're going to jump right in, guys, with the Los Angeles Ram game. So there's 55. Okay, so yeah, we're going to cover the Ram game. So a couple things that I'm going to make very clear here. Once again, the Rams are under the radar. No one's commenting on the game. A couple people say that the Rams are, I know they're number 2 in the power rankings, but the power rankings don't mean anything, especially when the experts don't believe in the team still. I've been hearing a lot of things like, what's wrong with the Cardinals again, and, your typical crap. But look, complete win beginning to end. Offense, defense, special teams. Jared Goff was great on third down. Longacre had a strip sack that was recovered by the Cardinals, so he had a good game. I told you to look out for him. Jermaine Johnson shut down the Cardinals wide receivers all game long. Eric called that one. The Rams dominated the line of scrimmage, and they did exactly what they needed to do to win. These are the games the Rams haven't won in the past. Beat a team that you're supposed to beat, period. And the fact that they are now 5-0 on the road, I don't want to hear that this was a home game. This was a road game. The Rams get to play 9 road games while everyone else gets 8. They are now 5-0 on the road and 1-2 at home. This was a big, big win for a lot of reasons. Obviously, they keep pace with Seattle. They're in the division, so they needed to get that win, and it's the only home game that the Rams have against the Cardinals this year, which is a complete catastrophe. But I really liked what I saw from all phases of the game. Pharoh Cooper returning kicks looked great for a second week in a row. No muffs, no turnovers, no nothing. Tavon Austin looks like a running back. Todd Gurley is a beast. Jared Goff is lethal with the third down conversions. Great win, Eric.
I want to ask you one question.
Yeah.
What team looked the most sluggish?
Oh, what do you mean, overall or just in the first quarter?
First quarter.
The Rams. Hands down, the Rams look sluggish.
Okay, who got out of it quicker?
The Rams.
Every single time in London, and there's 2 more teams going to London, which we'll get to in our next show. But yeah, it was whoever was able to get out of it first. You mentioned all 3 phases of the game. I love the fact that they got Gurley over another 20 touches, and with Palmer going out with an injury and Drew Stanton coming in, I mean, that was basically lights out. That's all you needed to see.
Yeah, I mean,
it was a big win for the Rams. They went somewhere where, again, 6,000 miles from their home that they called home, and getting a big W, and now they can rest up for a week.
Yeah, I like the fact that the bye week is here, and then they got to go back to the East Coast and play the Giants, which I'm actually okay with because I don't think the Giants, I think that's like an extra bye week. Sorry, Giant fans, but it's true. I really liked, what I like about Longacre that seems to get overlooked is he comes in and spells at linebacker or defensive end, and he's just a high motor guy. And Todd Gurley breaks the Cardinals streak of 19 straight games without allowing a 100-yard rusher. But for me, there were 2 key moments in this game. The Rams, at the end of the first half, got the ball on a punt, drove up the field. Jared Goff was 3 for 3 on third down conversions and got the touchdown. And then the very next series, the Rams get an interception, and they're able to put a field goal on the board. And at that point, it was game over. The Rams are finishing teams off with game-killing ending drives, and they're ending them with touchdowns, not field goals. This is a complete team, and I'm very excited to see what's going to happen in the next couple of weeks with the, obviously not this week, but the couple of weeks after that with the Los Angeles Rams, because they are the number one team in the NFC West, and I think by year's end they're going to be the number two team in the NFC, period. But time will tell on that.
Not sure how you feel about Peter King, Anthony. Just want to let you know he was on the radio out here a couple of days ago, and he was on one of the shows, and our Chicago sports guys asked him what the biggest surprise in the NFL was so far, and lo and behold, your Rams were number one on the list.
Wow.
So he's like, we didn't see it coming. So there are people out there who are going to say, my bad, we didn't see the Rams coming, but now they're giving them the props. So everybody's starting to take notice.
Well, and the nice thing is, me and you saw it coming. You gave the Rams high praise this offseason in your preseason prediction. You knew it was going to come down to the Rams, Cardinals, Seahawks. Now you had the Rams finishing third, but you had them with a much improved football team. I think you had them at 8-8. I just knew with the additions that they made and with this coaching staff that they just needed people in the right position to win. I'm glad to see that they're finally getting credit. We'll see if that lasts. It seemed like they took a hit when they lost to Seattle, but now they've got it picked back up with 2 wins over 2 respectable teams right now, at least.
Well, there's a big difference when you play a division game compared to when you play either not a division game or a foe you typically only see once every 4 years.
Yeah.
Hence the Giants. I mean, I'm glad the Rams had bye week because that might have been a letdown game. So we'll really see what the Rams are made of going back to the East Coast.
Well,
playing a Giants team that just isn't all there right now.
Well, and it's another game that the Rams should win. Right. So they better. And then they would be 6-2, and that would be a very nice place to be, obviously. Tampa Bay at Buffalo, we're going to be really brief on a lot of games. There's only really 2 games that we're going to spend a lot of time on, Chicago, Carolina, and Seattle, New York. But the Buffalo-Tampa Bay game, Tampa Bay's having a hard time finishing games. We saw this with Dirk Cotter. This is a Dirk Cotter special. The inability to finish games, the quarterback making the bad mistake at the wrong time, or the defense not being in the right position. He always focuses on one side of the ball, and the other side suffers. And in this case, it's usually offense. Tampa Bay's they're not a good team, but the Bills, and this is my second point, and I'll wrap it up with this. The Bills showed a lot of grit against a team that a lot of people were high on, and there's no question Tampa Bay has weapons, and the Bucs were still able to maintain and control most of that game and come from behind and then hold on to win. That's a big win for Buffalo. They're still in first place at 5-2, and I think people need to start taking notice to the Bills as well. Eric, Panthers and Bears.
Yeah, Panthers and Bears was a very odd game, I might add. The time of possession, the total yards, all favored Carolina. Carolina, 2 turnovers returned for touchdowns by the same guy, Eddie Jackson. And Mitch Trubisky threw for 107 yards. He was 4 of 7 passing for 107 yards. His long big play was a 70-yard pass to none other than Tariq Cohen. So you take that away, he is 3 for 6 for 37 yards. That's not really a recipe for success. However, Bears got the win. It just seemed like Carolina was very discombobulated the whole game. They just didn't know what hit them for some reason. Don't know why. They couldn't get their offense going. I don't think the Bears defense is all there just yet. The defense is kind of reminding me of the 05 Bears, where they had inept quarterback play from Kyle Orton, but their defense was keeping them in games. And this is kind of what you're seeing now. If anybody remembers, back then, the year before they went to the Super Bowl to face the Colts.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's where the Bears are headed next year, because that would be totally misguided. It's just reminding me of that. But they need to work on their offense. The Bears actually this week traded for the Chargers' 4th or 5th wide receiver, Dontrell Inman. They gave up a 7th-round draft pick, conditional draft pick. There was a lot of talk about Martavis Bryant being traded to the Bears, but, the Steelers said no. They're saying no to a lot of people. So they did get help on the wide receiver aspect now. Kendall Wright doesn't have to be the main guy, and the running backs don't have to be the main guy. We're actually getting some weapons, which is good. So we'll see where that takes them. But the game was interesting to watch, and it was exciting for the defense to watch. And I'm going to make a point on defense here a little bit later. But Carolina looked out of sorts. I know they're ticked off that they lost the game, as anybody would be. They were coming off 2 big wins, and the Bears basically shut them down. I mean, you wouldn't know it by the yards and time possession, because if you looked at that, you're like, oh, Carolina probably kicked their butt. Yeah, talk about the other way around. Bears, the defense, punched them right in the face.
I want you to do me a favor, Eric, for the next show. When we do our predictions, I want you to go back and I want you to look at some old statistics, okay? I want you to look at the Rams games and their stats, passing, rushing, and defensive stats in 83, 84, and 85, and into 86. Now, all 3 of those years, the Rams made the playoffs, and you know very well how far they went in 85, being a Bear fan. The Bears right now are winning games like the Rams used to do back in the day when they had Eric Dickerson and that great defense. You can win a lot of football games hiding your quarterback if you have the right pieces in place. Now, obviously, if you're talking Super Bowl, you've got some work to do there on the quarterback position. But what Trubisky provides for the Bears is the threat to make a deep play and allow for the running game to be present enough. And their offensive line is blocking. I thought, I watched a little bit of the Bear game, and at some point you have to sit there and go, okay, the Bears are impressive. Like, at some point you have to look at this and go, they're beating good teams. They're in, this is a football team that people might want to start noticing, or they're going to get beat too.
Well, I'm going to throw another thing out at you as well. There have been 3, this is impressive, there have been 3 John Fox coach teams to where inept quarterback play, like what they got from Trubisky. And I'm not saying Trubisky, he took a lot of fault in his performance. He was 4 for 7, so it's not like he was 1%. But there have been 3 John Fox coach teams that have had 4 or less completions in a game and won. Those 3 quarterbacks: Mitchell Trubisky, Tim Tebow, Chris Wayne.
Wow.
I mean, let's be honest here. Like, John Fox like defense, or is it like offense?
Defense.
Yeah, exactly. So we can tell that.
Yeah, no kidding.
But I mean, it's just crazy, how he's coached 3 different individuals that he's had as a quarterback, and they've had very low pass numbers, but the team has won.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting. Jets Dolphins, take us away.
Jets Dolphins. Okay. So the Jets came out and started playing ball like I thought they would. They were marching up and down the field. They were getting all 3 running backs involved: Forte, Powell, McGuire, and throwing the ball to Barry Jenkins, Robbie Anderson, Jeremy Curley. Their defense couldn't stop anybody. They were leading for a good portion of the game. Then they hit Jay Cutler, and he went out of the game with cracked ribs. Insert Matt Moore. Insert Matt Moore for the rest of the year. Jay Cutler will not sniff the starting job again.
Hopefully not.
In Miami. I'm calling it right now. Matt Moore led a charge under the Dolphins offense, which they hadn't seen, which, they spent $10 million on Cutler. They could have saved $10 million and spent it somewhere else. Just let Matt Moore take over, try to back up. And Matt Moore probably could have gotten more out of the Dolphins offense. And I know they're, 4-2, 4-3 right now. But, they could easily have had a more wins. So I think that if they get Devontae Parker back healthy, and Jarvis Landry decides to start playing up to his potential, the Dolphins might give that AFC a shakeup. That AFC East a shakeup.
Interesting.
And Matt Moore can do the job that he did last year and lead the team close to playoff contention.
Nicely done. All right. I'll touch on Cleveland, Tennessee. Old-fashioned football game, 9-6. No one scored a touchdown. Good defensive game. I thought that the Browns played really well on defense. I thought the Tennessee Titans played really well on defense. They get a second win in a row with Mariota playing under center and not being able to really move around too much. And once again, I don't know what the Cleveland Browns are doing with the quarterback position. You know, I look at Carson Wentz in Philadelphia and I just shake my head and go, could have been a Brown. I look at Deshaun Watson for the Houston Texans and I think, could have been a Brown. I mean, I don't know what the Browns are doing. And I'm telling you right now, they should fire Hugh Jackson, but they won't. But credit to Tennessee. Go on the road. Hard-fought win. Win is a win is a win. It really doesn't matter how you get it. 3 field goals reminded me of a game from like 1988. So, I'm tired. I'm like yawning on the show and everything, guys. That game was that boring. No, it wasn't. It was boring. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It was. You can't put. Look, you can put salad dressing on crap. It doesn't make it salad. It's still crap, and that's what this was. So.
Oh man, that's funny. Hey, can I just add one thing? I want to give a quick shout out to Joe Thomas.
Yeah.
First snap that he missed in 10,363 snaps.
Wow.
Dude's going to the Hall of Fame. I can tell you that right now. He could not play another snap in his career. And I know he's been on some dreadful Browns teams, but I want to give a shout out to Joe Thomas, one of the best old linemen probably the last decade.
Oh, no question. I agree. Great shout out. Well, since you opened your mouth and you keep talking, you're going to keep talking. New Orleans at Green Bay. Go, buddy.
You know, New Orleans at Green Bay, this was something that I thought would happen. Okay, so Drew Brees in the first quarter throws 2 interceptions. I'm like, really, Drew? Seriously? Who are you throwing to? Apparently he was throwing to Green Bay, and I didn't know it. And they got down early. However, you know, I talked about Mitch Trubisky and his 107 yards passing, but Brett Hundley only had 87. The main weapon for Green Bay is actually Aaron Jones. He came on after Montgomery got injured with his ribs. That was in Thursday night Bear game a few weeks ago. And their other backup, I want to say it's Jonathan Williams, but I could be wrong. He was a rookie they drafted. And he got injured. He tweaked his knee. He came back a week or 2 later, but it's been really the Aaron Jones show. And that's what Green Bay really needs to lean on from going forward. But, you know, as soon as the Saints hit their stride, they played good defense. It really didn't allow a lot of long drives. I mean, their run defense could be gashed a little bit. But Jordy Nelson and Devontae Adams, get this, they didn't catch their first passes until the second half. On that team, that's unheard of.
Yeah.
But when you're missing your one key cog in the starting lineup on offense, and you go your backup, and the backup only goes for 87 yards, you know, your wide receivers aren't going to get a lot of play. So, you know, I think Green Bay is going to be hurting for the next 5-6 weeks. You know, it's anybody's division in the NFC North, but, you know, watch out for New Orleans, guys. Seriously, they're playing great. They're playing great football. A lot better on defense than I thought they would. Their offense still hasn't clicked yet. Their run game has been really good. Drew Brees is still spinning the ball. He needs 12 completions to be the quickest to 6,000 in his career, and that would top Peyton Manning by 19 games. Some tells me he'll do it against the Bears in their next game. Get this, guys. The Saints are 4-2. They've played 2 home games. You know what that means for the second half of the season? That means watch out the dome. Saints won a game that they should have won. Might have been different if Rodgers was playing, but we'll never know.
Right. Well, that's a good point. Minnesota at home again, or sorry, Jacksonville at Indy. Go.
Jacksonville at Indy. Okay, so for the second time this year, Jacksonville had 10 sacks in a game. I'm going to throw a little stat out at you. Okay, you covered the Buccaneers a little bit earlier. Jacksonville has 33 sacks on the year. Guess how many Tampa has? Just take a quick guess.
3.
7. Okay. Jacksonville's defense is they're. I was a year too early on Jacksonville. I'm going to throw that out there right now.
Okay.
You know, I picked them to do good things last year, and I said I wasn't hopping back on that bandwagon. I swear, if they can get their offense consistent and keep Fournette healthy, Jaguars are going to be a tough team to beat with that defense below. Their point differential, and I know the game against Indy was skewed 27-0. Their point differential is 73. Guess what? That is good for tops in the AFC. And they're 1 point behind the Rams in all of football.
Wow.
That just tells you how good Jacksonville's doing. I'm not even touching on the Colts. You know, they rarely showed up. Actually, I'm going to make 1 point. T.Y. Hilton after the game basically called out the offensive line, you know, mainly because they gave up 10 sacks. You know, when you're starting calling out your own teammates like that, I know it's a losing season. Things aren't going well for you. You should probably just keep your mouth shut and maybe keep it within the locker room. I don't expect Andrew Luck to come back. He's had a setback. So, you know, this is Brissett season to do what he can because he's handing the reins back over next year. So enjoy your time playing because he won't be playing much after this year.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw a stat out there real quick on this game. 330 yards passing for Blake Bortles and a touchdown.
Well, yeah, I mean he had 70+ yards to Hearns and Lee, and his touchdown went to Mercedes Lewis. And I even said last week, I said, watch out for the offense because they're all 3 of them are going to get involved, and they were. And you know, Indy's a Pop Warner team. You know, they continue to be a Pop Warner team from week 1 on, and the Rams did what they did to them, and that hurt the Colts. Then when they get shut out at home, and I know they're only 1 game back, typically in the division right now, game and a half behind Tennessee, but you can put a fork in them.
Yeah, I don't know how they win another game. Baltimore at Minnesota, go.
Well, I told you a purple team was going to win. I also told you the Vikings were going to win.
Yeah.
You know, this just showed me Baltimore's ineptability to move the football. The best player on Baltimore right now is their kicker, Justin Tucker. For the Vikings, Latavius Murray had over 100 yards. He had a really good game. Still in the non-existent factor is the Vikings pass game. Thielen, Rudolph really didn't make too much of a mark. You know, there's one person who's coming back who might be activated this week for their game, and that's Teddy Bridgewater. I saw a big trade that would make sense for both teams, but I don't think the Vikings would do it. Bridgewater, the Cardinals, I should say. I think it would help both teams actually tremendously, but I think the Vikings are going to start rolling here soon, actually. Case Keenum is doing everything he can to keep that team afloat and, you know, leading on their defense, which they have been. He's serviceable. Not saying he's great. Not saying he's good. He's serviceable. You know, they play all aspects, and they matched them field goal for field goal until Minnesota finally scored a touchdown, you know, in the second half. So, you know, watch for that Baltimore sinking ship going down, and, you know, the Vikings are looking at a NFC North crown, and I think they think that it's not too early to start looking at that for them.
Interesting. All right, I'll take over Dallas, San Francisco. Really going to touch on just a couple of things here. Dallas finally played the game everyone expected them to. All the cylinders were clicking. The quarterback, the running back, the wide receiver, the passing game. The offensive line mowed the lawn, and they just kept on plugging. Defensively, they absolutely obliterated San Francisco in their home park, and they played great, and the 49ers looked about as bad as I've seen them look in a long, long time. What I didn't like was, once again, a team the Rams beat is beaten by somebody else, and it's look how good Dallas is. You know, I know the game was 40-10 and the Rams game was 41-39, but it's a rivalry game and you throw those records out the window. A win is a win is a win, and they went in and they beat San Francisco, a team they lost to twice the year before. I'm not making this about the Rams, but it is about the Rams. Every time somebody plays somebody that the Rams beat, I'm tired of it being a glorified, fest on that football team's ability to come back. And now it's because it's usually one of the go-to six, right? Seattle, Dallas, Green Bay, whoever. It's look how great this team is. The Cardinals, even when they beat the Colts 16-13 in overtime, we heard the same thing. I'm done with it. Dallas is a good football team. They're going to get back in the division race, and they'll probably make a wild card game. It's not going to be because of this game. It's going to be because things will happen down the pike. And everyone keeps talking about Ezekiel Elliott being gone. Okay, my last point on this. Ezekiel Elliott goes. Morris is more than serviceable with that offensive line to make things happen, get the yardage, and win football games. Because Dak Prescott's still a damn good quarterback. The offensive line is still a damn good offensive line. And that defense is still pretty impressive when they need to be. And you put all those pieces together, yeah, Morris isn't as good as Ezekiel Elliott, but he'll get the job done. But I don't even know if Ezekiel Elliott's going to lose a game due to suspension. Big win for Dallas. They're tied for second. We'll see what the next week provides. But San Francisco, you talk about a Pop Warner team. The 49ers, I don't even know if they could beat they didn't even beat the Pop Warner team in Indianapolis. So what does that mean about the 49ers and the Browns? We'll find out, I guess.
It's going to be a wait-and-see show. I mean, really, who's going to win that first game first? San Francisco or Cleveland?
Neither.
If they don't play each other, it'll probably be a tie.
Neither.
It's possible.
2 0-16 teams in the same year. Cincinnati at Pittsburgh. Go.
For a while, this game was close. And Pittsburgh decided to show up and play really good football on their home field. I didn't see a lot. I didn't see too many empty seats. I think they're starting to get those fans back that make that noise and propel that team. Boswell had a great game. They really leaned on Boswell for a good portion of that game, showing that the offense still isn't clicking. Perfect. I don't know what you can say if you consider him a dirty player or not, if he should be in the league or not, but he had a play at the end, close to the end of the game where it looked like he kicked the Steeler in the head. Bell had a decent game. Brown got a touchdown, and we saw Juju Smith-Schuster wide open. I mean, goodness gracious, I don't think I've seen anybody more wide open since Randall Cobb in Week 17 against the Bears for Green Bay winning the division 2 years ago. That's neither here nor there because he was wide open there too. Anyways, Cincinnati, they're getting there. I like what their offense is doing. Since they fired ZTZ after Week 2, they just need to get AJ doing the ball more. You got to lean on your horse and figure out a running back. Just figure out which running backs you want to use. Stop doing it to 3 different backs between Bernard, Hill, and Nixon, and just anoint one the starter and the bell cow, and then spell them on third down. Because I think that's where Cincinnati is losing a lot of focus on that side of football is your run offense. I think they'll be fine though moving forward. But Pittsburgh, the only team with an over 500 record in that division, so I expect them to continue to play well and keep winning some football games that they should be winning.
Well, I mean, at this point, they should win the division by default. Denver at the Chargers. 2 things I want to say here. One, can we finally admit that the Denver Broncos were horrendously overrated going into this year? And number 2, the Chargers defense made Denver look stupid. Despite that, okay, and I know what you can say, well, Denver has a really good defense. Well, okay, maybe. I'm not really sold on them either because the Giants, with no wide receivers, ripped them apart all game long. And then the Chargers put up 21 and shut them out 21-0. I don't think this win over Denver is an impressive win. I think that Sacramento looked good in this game defensively, but
Let's call it Napa Valley.
Wait, Death Valley, one of these games. Look, I got a fan on here that's like, when the Chargers go 7-3, will you give them some love? I'll do you one better, dude. If the Chargers go 6-3, I will cover them with the same intensity and time allotment as we do the Rams. If they go 7-3, I will then cover the victory.
They can't. They're 3-4 right now, so they can't go 7-3.
I know, right? That's why I'm saying this. It's like, whatever, dude. Look, if they don't lose another game between now and week 10, I will give them all of the coverage that I give the Rams. And if they win that game in week 10 or week 11 or 12, whatever the hell week it's going to be at that point, whenever, where they end up with 11 games played and they're, what would that be? 7-4. It'd be 7-4 would be 12, right? I don't know math. What am I doing?
I mean, it's not going to happen if you look at this.
Well, I know. The next game they're playing New England. It's over. I know. I'm just saying, this Charger fan's like, you got to give us some love. And I'm like, no. I'm not.
Did you see who they're playing after New England?
No.
Jacksonville. In Jacksonville.
Ooh. Well, is it an odd week?
Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yep, it's an odd week.
See, they should get the win.
Well, they didn't win week 1 or 3, so.
Well, that's true. Look, all I'm saying is, you beat the Giants, you beat the Broncos, you beat the Chargers or the Raiders because they didn't know how to make an extra point. And you were playing at home against the Raiders in Oakland. So I don't want to hear it. So I do think it's interesting, though. There's a lot of rumors, though, Eric. I don't know if you've heard this. Can you verify this for me, please? Because I heard this twice. Now, the owners are starting to pressure the Chargers to go back to San Diego. Is that true?
Yeah, I've heard that I heard that a lot after week 4, after they lost their 4th in a row. Mainly because, nobody's going. No
Right.
home fans are going to the soccer stadium that they play in.
Right.
And to me, it's just funny, and I don't mean to say it like that, but it's true. I've heard that. I've also heard from other multiple people around the NFL, not directly, but indirectly, that is not technically true.
Interesting. Well, when they're 4-12 this year, maybe they will next year go back home.
Hey, we'll cover them when they move again.
Oh yeah, well definitely. We'll spend a whole couple of shows on it even. Just get the hell out of LA. All right, Seattle at New York. I'm gonna go off. Did you watch the game?
I didn't see any part of this game.
Fast forward to Thursday night, 2016, Rams at Seattle. See, this is the problem that I have with the NFL too. They think the fans are stupid and that they have amnesia. It's the same problem with politicians. They think they could say something at 7:30 in the morning and then at 7:45 go, I never said that. And everyone's like, oh, I guess he never said that. I don't know what's going on. They do the same thing in football. Last year, Thursday night, Hager intercepts the football by Russell Wilson in a 10-3 Seahawk lead game. They had the lead. It was 10-3. In the end zone, intercepts it. Shane, or Jeremy, whatever the frig his name is, Graham, for the Seahawks tight end, the guy has possession, 2 feet in bounds. But the Seahawk also has possession and steps out of bounds. The official ruling was incomplete because dual possession, the offensive player was out of bounds. Never heard that before in my life. Fine. Fast forward to this game. I don't know who the Seahawk receiver was that went up in the air to get the ball. It was clearly intercepted by Landon Collins. He comes down in the end zone. The Seahawk comes down on top of him with dual possession, and not 1, but 2 feet out of bounds, tip-tap, 2 more times out of bounds, then rolls over and rips the ball out. Touchdown, Seahawks. Are you kidding me? I just, wow. Are you kidding me? You gave the ball to Seattle. I thought dual possession with a step out of bounds means it's incomplete. But apparently not 1 year later, because who's going to remember an obscure Thursday night game between the Rams and Seahawks? The fans in the NFL are stupid. This is going to lead me into November 12th. We're going to talk about it at the end of the show. Okay? And why I am going to participate in the November 12th event. Because it's crap like this I can't stand. Whatever benefits the go-to six, the league will rule. The guy could throw the ball into the ground, pick it up, and spike it into the ground, and then the other team, or the Seahawk, picks it up and runs to the end zone for a touchdown, and they'll signal touchdown. Because it's Seattle. Meanwhile, they could throw it right to the defender, he could run down the sidelines for a touchdown, and they'll say, oh, there was defensive holding on the other side of the field. You didn't see that? Yeah, no one saw it. No one saw it. Because it didn't happen. But they'll do that on a consistent basis. I'm so irritated. Because it changed the entire complexion of the football game. And the fact that Seattle needed an official's help to beat the Giants tells me everything I need to know about the Seattle Seahawks. That game was a joke, and that call was a joke. And to think that the fans wouldn't remember something less than a year ago on an obvious call blows my mind. So yeah, Seattle's 4-2, but they have got to be about as impressive of a 4-2 football team as the Rams were last year at 3-2. No one was afraid of the Rams at 3-2 or 3-1. And I'm sorry, you shouldn't be afraid of the Seahawks at 4-2. They're a joke, and they'll be lucky to win 7 games this year. Mark my words. Anyway, New England at Atlanta, or Atlanta at New England, go. Unless you want to chime in on it. Well, you didn't see any of the games, so Atlanta at New England.
No, I didn't see that game. I watched the Patriots Falcons, and where have the Falcons gone? You know, I was sitting watching the game, and right after halftime, they started talking about the fog, and I turned to my wife and I said, hey, they're going to reference the Fog Bowl, 88, Bears-Eagles. Watch. Sure enough, within 5 minutes. Oh, this reminds me of the Fog Bowl in '88 between the Bears. I just started shaking my head. She shook her head too because she's like, "You're nuts. You're an idiot.
You're ridiculous."
So, you know, New England have all the weapons. The Falcons have a lot of weapons. They just didn't utilize them. I don't think Tevin Coleman is fully healthy. New England just came out. You know, Tom Brady didn't even have a great night passing. There really nothing stood out in this except Atlanta's ineptitude of scoring points. That's what stood out the most.
Yeah.
And they had they actually had 3 trips in the red zone at one time and went for it on 4th down twice, missed a field goal, and at one time they were 0 for 3 in red zone trips. So, you know, Matt Ryan's got to figure out what's going on. You know, just maybe hand the ball out to Freeman 40 times a game. I don't know. But they need to really resolve this because if they keep playing the way they're playing, they're going to lose sight of that division really quick. They have a little time to make up.
You know, it's
you know, they're not the Falcons.
It's a shame It's a shame no one's referencing the serious injury that the Falcons sustained during the offseason. Because
the Falcons need a good hard look in the mirror, and you know, Dan Quinn didn't come out and say it, but he basically said that Sarkisian was, you know, quote unquote safe. So we know that there's a lot of talking going on behind closed doors.
Yeah. I mean, that's the injury I'm talking about. You know, the severe injury that the Atlanta Falcons obtained this offseason was the hiring of Steve Sarkisian, who has a permanent brain injury, apparently, because he thought a jet sweep against the Patriots defense at the goal line with a guy that's not strong or fast was a good call. You want to know why the USC Trojans got rid of Sarkisian? There you go.
Well, and Alabama.
Yeah, no kidding. My 4-year-old can outcoach Sarkisian.
Because, and I don't mean to take this to college football, but when you change your offensive coordinator before the national championship game, that doesn't spell success.
And it doesn't.
Like the Crimson Tide did between Lane Kiffin and Sarkisian.
And it doesn't mean, and it's not good. It means you're not good.
Right.
He's garbage. And as far as I'm concerned, this is another classic example of recycled dog crap. That's why I'm so happy with the Rams. The Rams went out and got something fresh and something new. So did the Chargers, for that matter. So did Denver, for that matter. Something new and fresh. And I respect the heck out of it. You could even throw the Niners in that category. I'm tired of seeing the same people in the same positions not perform and get jobs the next year. I just don't get it. Washington, Philly. I'm going to wrap this up with this. I am so impressed with Carson Wentz. And I am so excited for the future because I don't think there's going to be ever again in NFL history a 1-2 like Wentz and Goff. I think these guys are going to see each other in conference championship game after conference championship game after conference championship game. These two are not only going to go down in history as 1-2, but they're going to go down in history as the greatest 1-2 draft combination in NFL history with all of the postseason experience that they're going to accumulate, all of the marquee big games they're going to have against one another. This is the NFL's version of Larry Bird and Magic Johnson. I genuinely believe that. And I'm sorry, but it's more genuine than Tom Brady and Peyton Manning. And what I mean by that is Peyton Manning was a factory-made success story. He could throw for 45,000 yards or he could throw for 45 yards. And he was going to be considered the greatest. It's the greatest game he ever played. It's unbelievable. Guy's phenomenal. Threw 5 pick sixes. Oh, but did you see those pick sixes? They were phenomenal throws. Like, that was Peyton Manning every week. And Jared Goff can go 17 of 17 for 450 yards and 8. That'd be amazing because he went, 8 touchdowns. And they'd be like, oh, but did you see the incompletion that he didn't throw? Like, why did he throw that one in triple coverage? I know it was caught, but it shouldn't have been thrown. Like, that's what Goff's going to deal with. So, people are coming around on him, finally. But there's 2 plays in this Eagle game that blew me away. Wentz shimmied in the pocket inside the 10-yard line, and he threw a dime over the Redskins defender directly into the running back's hands. And I just sat there and went, how in the frick did he complete that pass? Like, that is ridiculous. The pass to Hollins, you just sat there and went, that's a touchdown. The ball's in the air. It was touchdown. I don't even know who he's throwing to because he threw the thing so far high into the air that NASA detected it in the moon, going, hey, there's something in outer space here. It was a Wentz ball that then dropped directly into the hands of Hollins. And I'm just like, and it was a dime as well. And I'm just like, this guy's unbelievable. And this is why when that draft happened, I had such a hard time picking between Carson Wentz and Jared Goff. And I don't think either team missed. I really don't. He is hands down the MVP of the 2017 season right now for the Eagles. And I would put him in the top 3 in the NFL with Hunt and Todd Gurley. He's unbelievable. I got nothing but admiration for this guy. And I'm really excited to see how the Rams and Eagles game goes in December. And I'm really excited to see if these two teams play each other in the postseason and how consistent that's going to be. Because while Peyton Manning may have been manufactured, you can't argue the numbers. He was the greatest regular season quarterback of all time. And because of that, he was in the postseason a lot. I don't think this rivalry between Wentz and Goff is going to be as lopsided as the Manning-Brady rivalry. I think it's going to be back and forth for a long, long time. That's my 2 cents.
Well, let's just see him get there first. Because once you get there, then they can keep getting back. I just want to add one thing to this. I watched the majority of this game. And the Redskins got the ball first, marched down the field, got a field goal. And I was like, kind of left that empty feeling like they should have had more.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, Philadelphia takes over. Philadelphia went backwards more than they went forwards in that first drive. At one point, they had first and 33 on their own 2-yard line because of penalty after penalty after penalty. And you should have heard Sean McDonough and John Gruden. They're like, this is ridiculous. Just let the guys play. Oh, flag. Oh, another flag.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, guess what? There's another flag. I think they're still throwing flags in that game.
Yeah.
But then Wentz just heaved one up there. Like, he went for a deep ball, got picked off. Washington had the ball like their own 40 or 45, somewhere close to midfield. And they couldn't capitalize, and then it just went downhill. And what I'm seeing a lot from Washington is that it might have made an $8 million mistake in signing Terrell Pryor because he's been non-existent except for, one game and one touchdown catch this season so far.
Yeah.
So, Jordan Reed had a big game, but it was all pretty much fourth quarter stuff. And, the disappearing act that Carson Wentz did in the pocket only to escape somehow.
That was unbelievable,
like 19
too, yeah.
yards down the field. It was just like I had to rewind it and watch it 4 times and be like, really? He wasn't down? Nobody touched him or what?
Yeah.
They didn't fall down. He just spun his way out and found some open grass. But Philadelphia is real, man. I mean, I put Philadelphia up there with Pittsburgh, Kansas City, and New England as top 4 teams. Top 5 teams with the Rams. I don't want to forget that because they're playing high quality football right now. So I didn't mean to forget them. I caught myself, but I won't be surprised if those may be the last 5 teams standing, and somehow, some way, maybe that conference championship game as early as this year if everything falls right for the Rams and Eagles. And hell no, I won't be rooting for those Eagles if that's the case.
You stole my thunder. That's my next thing is the best teams. So for me, I'm going to go first because you kind of already stole my thunder. I think the best teams in the NFC, without question, and it's not even close, is the Rams and Eagles, and not in that order. I think the Eagles are 1 and the Rams are 2, and I think that's justified. And I do think the Rams and Eagles right now, if you ask me, if I had to do a midseason pick, I'd say Rams and Eagles in the conference championship game. And sorry, Ram fans, but I think the Eagles are going to win. Just because I think Wentz at home, I'm not going to say he has more weapons, but it's going to be a tough game. But I just think Wentz, 2 years in the same system, he's going to be able to do a little bit more with his offense than Jared Goff's going to be able to do with his. And don't get me wrong, I'll be rooting like hell for the Rams. Obviously, I'm a Rams fan. There's no way I'm going to root for Philly. I just think right now they're a better team. When they play in December, we'll see. But those are the 2 best teams in the NFC. I'm going to floor people, I think, when I go with the AFC. I think the best 2 teams in the AFC is Kansas City, number 1, still. I'm going there. And I'm going to say Buffalo. It's not because Buffalo's 5-2. It's because Tyrod Taylor's starting to put it together. Shady McCoy can run the rock. Their defense is outstanding. Their special teams play is severely overlooked. And they're beating everybody they're playing. And it's like, line them up. We'll knock them down. And I really think they're underrated. And Kansas City, I don't see them losing another game for a little bit. I think these last 2 losses really probably peed them off. I just see too many holes in Pittsburgh's game. And I see 2 teams that are going in opposite directions. I see the Bills trending upward. And yeah, the Steelers are still on top, but they're sliding. There's just too many holes in this thing with Martavius Bryant. Antonio Brown having a conniption fit. The blueprint's out on how to stop Le'Veon Bell. Their defense against quality opponents doesn't play well. You could be physical against Pittsburgh's defense. I would probably put Pittsburgh as my 5 right now, and I would put Kansas City, at number 3, and I put Buffalo at number 4. But those are my best teams right now. Eric, you kind of already commented on it, but go ahead.
Yeah, I'm going to start in the AFC. I don't think the Patriots have played their style of football yet this year, 7 games in. As you mentioned, Pittsburgh, they haven't played their style of football 7 games in. Both teams have had bad losses. And, I know the Chiefs are in a two-game spiral, and I'm not even sure if you want to call it a spiral. They lost on the last second touchdown. That's not really going to end your season right there. But I do like the Buffalo Bills pick. Their defense has just been tremendous. And, I think it can carry them a long way. I think they just need to make a deal by the deadline for a wide receiver. And maybe that wide receiver is actually Jordan Matthews, who they're getting back from a wrist injury, who they got back last week. He had a couple of catches, but really wasn't a factor. So maybe going forward, he will be their X factor. Yeah. So the one team that I'm really impressed with, that I'm going to actually put up as one of the top AFC teams, and I can't believe I'm going here, but their defense is just outright sick, the way that they play. They've had one bad loss. One. They got smoked by the Titans. That wasn't a bad loss. That's a division game. You win those, you lose those. It happens all the time. They got beat by the Rams. The Rams are a better team than this team. But the one bad loss that they had was against the Jets in overtime. Should have had that game. But I'm going with the Jaguars. Oh. Their defense, ridiculous. When you get 10 sacks in 2 separate games, like, does the other team not play with offensive line? I don't know how to explain that. I mean, they basically went in and blitzed both. I don't even know how much they blitzed, but they went in and they just hammered not only the Colts, but they also, they smoked the Ravens in London, but they also beat the Texans in week 1, before the Texans started Deshaun Watson. Because it was a Tom Savage show, if you could really call it a show, more like a nightmare. But the Jaguars are playing some great football. They're tied for the division, obviously have to get back because they lost the Titans, but it's going to be a 3-horse race in that division. Yeah. And the team that comes out healthier, and I know the Jaguars had lost Allen Robinson, after like snap 3 in week 1. Titans, Mariota still nursing that hamstring, and the Texans defense, they've been hampered by injuries. Merciless and Watt are out for the season. So whoever comes out of that division the most healthy as they can be, will win it. But man, Jacksonville's not going to make it easy on anybody. Now, they can just get their offense going. They're going to make some noise.
Yeah.
On the NFC, you touched on the Eagles and Rams, so I'm not really going to go there because I've already mentioned it, but I don't think the Vikings are legit. I don't think they'd make any noise in the playoffs if they got there. But the only other team that the only other 2 teams that, I'm keeping my eye on, you got the Saints. If they got that defense that's, actually legit, and they can be playing at a high level, they're going to be a tough out. But of course, the NFL is always going to try to get the Seahawks in. I'm not saying they're a great team right now. They have tons of offensive line problems. But if they keep winning games, man, I mean, that's all you can do. Win games, and they're finding ways to win. So,
well, go with some.
It's tough for me because obviously, like the next game between the Seahawks and Rams is that's in Seattle, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's going to be a very telling game between the 2 teams when that takes place. So we'll see where the Rams and Seahawks are at that point, but. I think it's a two-headed race, obviously, right now, and I think both teams have a legit shot at making the playoffs as far as one division winner and one wild card.
Yeah, for sure. Surprises. Who's your 2 surprises, one in each conference?
My surprises, I'm not going to go with a great surprise here, but how lackluster the Cowboys have been against good teams. I think that's a big eye-opener right there. Like, can they hang with a good team? I know what they did against San Francisco, but, I could assemble a team tomorrow that could beat San Francisco. Okay, I'm joking on that part, but you kind of get where I'm going with that.
Yeah.
Dallas is supposed to beat those teams. So when they get into division games that they pretty much rocked last year, except losing to the Giants once or twice, I mean, right now they're 1-0 in the division, but, as soon as they start playing Philadelphia, we'll see how the Cowboys are going forward. I'll be looking at that. As far as the AFC, my biggest surprise really is how well Buffalo's doing. I'm really excited to see, Buffalo and the Patriots duke it out. in their first meeting. I hope that game is on out here. I really do. And I really want to see how Brady dissects Buffalo's defense if he can. If not, I want to see New England stop LaShawn McCoy because I think Shady could have a really big game or two against New England. Hey, you know what? Those games could come down to the division. And don't sleep on the Dolphins if Matt Moore plays well on Thursday night against the Ravens. If Matt Moore plays well against the Ravens, I mean, the Dolphins are going to be looking a little bit more legit too. One thing that struck me as well, I heard today, you know who's itching for a comeback, Anthony?
Who?
This guy hasn't played in 11 years, but I mentioned that Tampa Bay has 7 sacks on the year. Simeon Rice is itching to come back. Would you sign him?
No.
Okay, I didn't think so. Neither are they. But he keeps saying, "Hey, I want to come back and I can get this team back in the playoff contention." Okay, but you're 43 straight, man. So just wanted to throw that out there because I thought it was actually kind of funny when I read it.
Yeah, that's not even okay. I'm gonna go unique here. I think we're definitely going to give the AFC East a lot of love here. But before I get into that, I want to say one thing about Dallas. Big game this weekend against the Redskins in Washington for both teams. They're 3-3. That's going to be a big game. My surprise in the AFC right now is the New York Jets. We didn't have them winning a game, and here they are in contention. I know they lost to Miami. I know they're under 500, but aren't they? I think they're 3-4, right?
Yeah, they're 3-4.
But I mean, no one saw this team coming, and they really had a 14-point lead on Miami, or they'd have been 4-3. So I just think that the Jets right now, considering what they have, what they're playing with, who's the Jets coach? Spacing his name.
Todd Bowles.
Thank you. If Todd Bowles doesn't win Coach of the Year for the job he's done, there's something wrong with the award. There's something wrong with the award. This man is 3-4 right now, and he has no talent anywhere on the field. Anywhere. And don't tell me below Powell.
If it's between Bowles and McVay, and I'm sorry to interrupt, but if it's between Bowles and McVay, who would you rather see it go to?
Ramley, don't get mad at me, but Todd Bowles. It's going to depend on how Bowles finishes. If he goes 8-8, 9-7 with this football team, it better go to Todd Bowles. Now, obviously, if he goes 7-9, 6-10, forget it. No, it should go to McVay. I don't disagree with that. But right now, they're playing around 500 football, and they have no talent. It's amazing to watch this football team add up the wins. They got screwed against the Patriots to cost them a game, where this team very easily could be 4-3 right now, if not 5-2 with a win over Miami. It's crazy. Now, I told you I'm going unconventional. You want my other surprise?
Please don't say it.
Chicago Bears.
Okay, I'm interested to hear this. I don't agree 100%, but go ahead.
Look, the Chicago Bears were one of those teams that we both have to admit we thought, like the Jets, was going to be number 1 or number 2 in the NFL draft. And, you got a rookie quarterback that comes in. He's lit a fire. You're running the ball better than I expected, which means your offensive line's better than I expected. When your offensive line is good and you play defense the way the Bears do, you can win a lot of football games. Now, you said their first win was going to be against Detroit. I still think they're going to beat Detroit. Now, if they beat Detroit, they beat Minnesota. The next time you play Green Bay, you lay the smackdown. What happens if the Bears go 5-1 in the division?
Well, I mean, they can't because they're already
4-2. 4-2.
I mean, there's still a lot of work that needs to be done.
I don't disagree with that. But what I'm saying, the reason I'm picking these teams as a surprise right now is we're 7 weeks into the season, and these teams are flirting with 500 football, and they were supposed to be 0-7. And it's not like they're not getting impressive wins along the way. So, and really the Bears, there's another team, right? A drop touchdown pass in the end zone against Atlanta. They could be 4-3. So, for me, when I look at surprises, I look at teams that I don't go with who's winning. Let's see, of all the teams with a first place record or a winning record, I swear to God, if I hear one more person say that the Eagles are a surprise team, I'm going to choke them to death. Okay? The Eagles, we all knew were going to be a good football team. Now, Philly right now is number 1, and I had them picked 4, but I had them picked 4 with a 9-7 record. Okay? It's not like I thought Philly was a bad football team. 6-1's impressive, but they're supposed to be good. The Bears and Jets were supposed to make the Detroit Lions pop the cork, and they're not. So I think there needs to be a little bit of a kudos to those fans out there who follow the Jets and Bears and can appreciate how hard their team's playing. This is why I love football more than basketball. Basketball, like the Suns, the Phoenix Suns have already tanked the season. First game into the year, we're done. They didn't play yet. But in the NFL, these teams that were supposed to be garbage, here they are. Right in the thick of it. A game out of first place. 2 games out of first place. Now, it may not last, but if you're going to tell me to pick a surprise team right now from each conference, I'm going Jets and Bears. Now, do I think they're going to finish 500 or better? No. But they've impressed the hell out of me so far, and I think that's saying something. And the Bears are winning like the Rams did in the 80s. No quarterback, all running back, all defense, all the time. Now, we'll see if Trubisky comes around, but it's impressive. You wanted to cover defense.
I did. To me, defense isn't about playing 3-4, 4-3, cover 2, prevent, whatnot. When I watched the Bears-Panthers game, kind of struck me as, there's really 2 different types of defense that are out there. They still have 11 guys on the field. They still try to stop the ball, try to, get the ball back to the offense. And it took me back again to 2005 Bears defense. They played the bend, don't break style. And there's that defense that you watch that just gets gassed. Like, they are on the field for an 11, 12 play, 7.5-minute drive, and they're just winded. Team offense goes down, scores a touchdown. Those guys are dragging blood back to the sideline. Offense gets the ball back. They go 3 now. You see those guys huffing and puffing. They're like, oh, here we go again. And it just stays like that for a quarter, 2 quarters, 3 quarters. And finally, they wear down and they get their butts kicked. Then there's the defense that creates turnovers and scores touchdowns. And you can tell the offense is like, well, we want to sustain this drive, but, if we got to go back up, if we got to put the ball away, man, I just love watching our defense. The way they make plays and the way they fly to the football and break up passes and score touchdowns. Like, they don't need us, except we just need to go out there and for 3 plays and hold on to the ball for like 2 minutes. That's what I saw a lot of in the Bears-Panther game. Like, the Bears offense couldn't move the ball. They had 1 big drive. They ended up getting inside the 1 or 2 yard line of the Panthers. And they ended up, running the ball 3 times. And it was, at this point, it was 14-3 already. And I was like, just go for it. I mean, if you're defense, you're really not supposed to win this game, according to the pundits and the experts. But here you are, you're 14-3. Put the freaking dagger through. And just, put Jordan Howard in there and run the ball. They can stop you. And, they ended up settling for a field goal. That made it 17-3. So, the offense is like, hey, we're just going to, do what we can to not turn the ball over and put our defense in a precarious situation. And we're going to let our boys go to work. Now, I know that's not what you can expect for 16 games, because your defense has to be like the 2000 Ravens and be spot on every single snap. Or the 85 Bears, except for the Miami game, every single snap. and that's just hard to sustain these days. But it's fun to watch. Then you're that team that's gassing that defense. You're like, oh, look at them. They're not going to be able to tackle, right? They're going to throw their shoulder down, try to knock you off balance. But all you're going to do is move back 2 yards, turn the corner, and run 70 more yards for a touchdown. They're not going to catch you. So two different types of defense. I love watching it. It sucks when it happens to your own team that gets the gas defense, but it's just it doesn't matter what type of defense you play. The type of defense you have and that you're seeing can be really fun to watch on games that your team is playing for or against. Just sucks when it happens against you.
You know, for me, I look at defense a little bit differently. I like to watch good tackling and a defense that makes the tackle every time. It doesn't matter.
We're talking about the 80s.
Huh?
So we're talking about the 80s.
Or you can even go the 99 bucks. You know, balls caught, down. There's no extra yardage. Move it. But you're not going to break my tackle. I love watching good tackling defenses. They make so many more things happen on the football field. And when I watch the Bears, they're one of the better tackling teams in football right now. But, the tackling in the NFL today is horrendous. It really is. And a lot of that's to do with the rules. The rules are skewed to screw the D. And when you see a good defensive performance, you get excited. But you also know that when's the flag coming? It used to be you'd watch a big hit, you jump up and down, you give each other a high five, you take a swig of your beer or your drink or you dip your chip and sit there and be like, what a great game. Now you see a big hit and you go, was it helmet to helmet? Are they going to call a penalty? Are they going to call unnecessary roughness? Are they going to call personal foul? Was it low? Did they see what we didn't see? Okay, now it's a good play. And then the guy gets fined on Monday.
You seriously have gone into my brain and exactly what I was thinking about that because you see it thinking, you're like, all right, when's the flag coming?
Right. Exactly. I mean, it's awful.
And then you're surprised when they don't throw a flag. You're like, crap, they didn't throw a flag on that? Hurry up, hit the line.
Yeah, exactly. Or like they can throw a flag late, right? Well, I mean, I guess they could. All of this is going to lead to my final segment, but we did miss one thing. Look, I'll be quick. I'm picking the Dolphins over the Ravens because I don't think the Ravens can beat anybody right now. The Dolphins' defense has proven they're legit, and I think Matt Moore is going to tear up that Ravens defense because I think that Ravens defense is kind of done. I think they're tanked for the year. I think they've been on the field too much, and I just think almost said Ajayi is going to have a big game. I think the passing game is going to be there. I'm picking the Dolphins over the Ravens. Who are you picking?
Yeah, I'm picking the Dolphins too. I think you're going to see a lot of life put into this Dolphins team with Matt Moore at quarterback. Yeah. And, I think you're going to see big games, not just from Ajayi, but from Landry and Parker, especially if Parker plays. I think he adds another dynamic. But don't be surprised if Parker doesn't play. But you're going to see Kenny Stills with a couple of big, long games on passes.
Yeah.
I just think Flacco doesn't have. There's a chance that Macklin, Wallace, and Watson don't play in this game. So the leading receiver is actually. Then I would put money on it that the leading receiver would be Michael Campanaro. And that's not really a recipe for a win.
No. All right. I'm going to talk about this because I want the fans to know. So, I read an article today saying, you were in high school excelling in sports. Your buddy was working at McDonald's. Well, you went to college and got that big degree. He was working in a mechanic shop, making ends meet. Well, you were at the combine with people marveling at your athletic ability. He saved up enough money and decided to talk to a recruiter and join the Army. Well, you were coming out the tunnel on Sundays, being cheered and adored by thousands and thousands and thousands of fans. He was putting his life on the line for people he had met 6 weeks ago, fighting for his country. When the national anthem plays, you take a knee while he stands with pride knowing that he's putting his life on the line so you have the freedoms to do what you want to do. And November 12th is Veterans Day weekend. Now, I have a grandfather who fought in World War II, a father who fought in Vietnam, basically a second father who fought in Vietnam, a buddy that's done 3 tours in Afghanistan, and I'm an unabashed capitalist, American-loving, Arizona, Spitfire and Italian. I can, in good conscience, not participate on the boycott of the NFL on November 12th. It's Veterans Day weekend, and it's done for a point. And we've talked about this, and I really am not going to go into the politics of it all. The players are no longer kneeling for the anthem. For the most part. Some still are. And the fact that they decided protesting the flag was the best way to do things, I found to be deplorable and disgusting. There are 4 factors for me that made me decide that I was going to participate in this boycott. Now, just so you guys know, that's Texans at LA, the Rams' first home game in 57 weeks. Where they're actually playing in the Coliseum. The Seattle Seahawks BS touchdown. The New England Patriots BS touchback benefit that they got from the Jet game. Year in and year out, it's the same teams in the playoffs every single year. The NFL Network, this is the 3rd one, covering the same teams every week and disrespecting the other 26 teams in the National Football League. Just free willy, like, oh, the Colts are a Pop Warner team. You're a professional analyst. I know you made that comment about the Colts. You notice I won't. I'm not saying that that's unprofessional. What I am saying is you don't kick a dog when it's down, you find something positive. And in the Colts case, there isn't anything positive, except for next year in the draft. I get it. But it's your job as an analyst to make sure that you're covering all the teams equally. And you can have a favorite and still be fair to the other teams. We do it all the time with the Bears and the Rams. Yeah, those 3 things to the pot. And then, like I said, the protest. Now, I'm a firm believer. I told you this. What John Gruden said. I choose to stand up for the flag. Put my hand over my heart. Other hand behind my back. And salute the flag. I have my reasons. I'm not saying the players don't have the right to protest. But what the people on the other side need to understand, the people that are for the protests, they need to understand that those of us that don't agree with the protest equally have a right to voice our displeasure and say, we're not okay with it. And we're not saying you can't do it, but we're saying we don't have to accept it. We've gotten to a part in society today where you have to accept the way I think, but I don't have to accept the way that you think. And it's caused a lot of frustration for me raising a child in this world. So November 12th is going to be my way of saying, I don't have to listen. I don't have to agree with you. And I don't agree with you. And that to me, you chose a poor method in how to run your business, NFL. And players, you made a poor decision in protesting the flag. There's 2 images I cannot get out of my head. I cannot get out of my head Villanueva having to apologize when he didn't need to apologize. because Mike Tomlin crucified him in the locker room. And Shady McCoy stretching during the national anthem while military men and women were at midfield holding the flag and doing the ceremony. I can't get it out of my head. So on November 12th, that week, the Thursday night game, we'll do, so this is after the Rams play the Giants. We'll do our breakdown like this. I will not cover or do a prediction for Thursday night. And we will not be doing a Sunday morning show. I will be taking my family and we will be going Christmas shopping. And I will not be watching the Monday night game either. We will pick back up on Wednesday and do, I'll know the standings by then, so we can at least do a really brief show on that. But that's really going to be we're going to review the games coming up this next week. And then it's back to normal. Do you agree with that, Eric?
Everybody has their right to express their desires and feelings of the NFL. And while I believe that most of the players should stand for the national anthem and be unified in what they do, their standard don't come out. I think you might see a little bit of people not tuning in on that day. Time will tell. And who knows where I might be that day. I can't say for sure. I mean, typically Sundays, I'll be following my fantasy team or whatnot, or tuning in to see maybe, a few minutes here and there. But I know I'll be busy that weekend as well. So it remains to be seen. I really haven't taken a stance on it yet. I still have some time. So with that being said, you just let me know when we're doing the show and if I'm basically taking it over that day. So maybe I'll just fly out there and put my face on camera.
They wouldn't notice the difference. Well, just so everyone knows, November 12th is National Boycott the NFL Day. And I think there could be a loud and clear message sent by the fan base. And for me, like I said, it's a fourfold factor. It's not just the anthem protest. It's the changing of the rules to make it so one-sided for the offense that you can't even get a good product on the field anymore. The constant flags with no punishment for the referees. The BS catch rule and no catch rule, and one year it's a catch for the other team and the next year it's an incomplete pass or vice versa. I'm done. I'm done with it. And I think there's no better message to send to the National Football League that the fans are fed up than by not going. There's other sports. There's other things to do. And that's just what I'm going to do. Now, if you end up watching, Eric, I'm not going to be mad at you. I'm not going to sit there and go, how dare you, you idiot. But I'll just let you run the show. I'll call you, and I'll comment on the standings. I'll basically say what happened in this game, tell everyone in case somebody like me didn't see it. And, you're just going to have to do every game, and you're going to be a very busy man if you watch. And if you don't, then, like I said, we'll go over the standings, and then we'll cover the week coming up, and we'll do our pregame that day, and there just won't be a show on Sunday that week either. And then we'll start anew the week of Thanksgiving. It's really the way it would boil down if you decided not to watch it. If you do, that's fine. And just so the Ramily out there knows, I'm not going to be mad at you if you go to the game. I'm not going to be mad at you if you don't go to the game. You have the right to do what you choose to do. I just think if you really want to see change in this sport, we need to be unified as a fan base and send a loud and clear message. And I can't think of a better weekend to do it than Veterans Day. Because there is an element of that that's tied into all of this. So, but I'm not going to be mad at anybody out there that decides to go, and I'm not going to be mad at you, Eric, if you decide to watch. That's your call. I'm making my decision now so the fans know what to expect, so they're not like, where's the show, man? Well, that's why there's no show. If you're somebody who's for the players doing this, cool. That's fine. That's your call. You have the right to feel that way. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just telling you what I'm doing. Take it or leave it. Anything you want to add to that, Eric, before we wrap it up?
No, I mean, at least you're telling everybody ahead of time. Yeah. And, again, it's all a personal decision, whatever you do, whether you watch or you don't watch, for Thursday game to the Monday game. Yep. So, hey, as long as our followers know, hey, we're going to be incognito that weekend, that's fine. Just give me your login and password. I'll upload LA Ram Central to my iPad.
Hey, you have a camera? Seriously, Eric, do you have a camera on your computer?
My iPad, I do.
Do it, and I'll give you my YouTube password so you can log it in. That's fine.
It'll be interesting to see what happens that week. I still think you're going to see, a lot of fans in the stadium, not necessarily filled capacity, but I think you will. So we'll see. There's still 2 weeks away, so what
I'm confident in, Eric, is if this is a success, I'll hear about it on Monday.
Oh yeah, you'll definitely hear about it because you'll hear a lot of ratings for Thursday night game, Sunday night game, going into the Monday night game, and then you'll also hear Monday night ratings on Tuesday.
Yeah. So, but I'm sure it'll be all over the news that this boycott happened and worked. It's not something I'm going to have to be like, I wonder if the seats were filled or not. They're either going to be talking about it on Monday or they won't. One or the other. They won't talk about it on Friday because it's one game. But they will talk about it on Monday if it's all of those games. So that'll be interesting. All right. Well, listen, sorry for the Redskin gear. I lost the bet. I'll be wearing it for the Sunday pregame show as well. On behalf of LA Ram Central, I'm Anthony. Go ahead.
I'm Eric.
And go Rams!